Action! Welcome back to another episode of Rip Through a Podcast. This is episode 33.
Yeah.
Welcome, Sean Tobin.
It's my boy. How you
Late
doing?
again. We're going to have to change this up, man.
I know. I'm going to start leaving at 5:30. I promise. I was getting a couple of good runs there.
You were getting here too early, and even one morning that I didn't wake up for you. So
Exactly right. So I'm back on the 5:30 a.m. So next week 7 a.m. we'll be here ready to go.
That's early. How you been, mate? I heard you're starting to get a bit of notoriety down your way. You're at the Gold Coast game on the weekend. The Lions versus Gold Coast ended in a draw, and
Yeah.
I've heard from reliable sources that you got noticed a few times.
Mitch, I've arrived. I'm here. We have officially arrived. I say we as a collective because you arrived some years ago, but we have arrived.
Yeah.
We had some listeners come up and want photos, and I had a few people yell out on my way into the grounds asking
yelling?
us. Oh, they're yelling out topics to chat about, which are all very good topics.
John, get here on time. John.
Yeah.
What's Mitch doing?
Well, one person asked me how the car was, and I didn't really understand where it came from, and I was thinking, what?
What car?
And
On
like,
that, how is the car?
Yeah, good. Yeah. No, not good. I still haven't got it fixed, but now I've rang the insurance, so hopefully we get it
Are
sorted.
they going to look after you?
When it comes to excess and stuff,
excess.
I'm trying to figure out a deal. So if there's any listeners out there that could do me a deal.
RSEQ, the avid listeners, man,
Yes,
that makes sense to get them as a sponsor. Just think about that for a second.
I'm here. I'm ready to rock.
Also, on the crash, Toby Wooler. So we just got back from community camp. I went out to Ipswich and Springfield, where our new base is going to be set.
Oh yeah.
But on the second day, so 2 days ago, Toby Wooler was meant to drive me out there because I drove the first day. And old mate went to Carindale Shopping Centre, and he's got like reverse beeps in the back of his car, and he's got a camera. He was like real dark down the underground car park, and he's kept reversing, and then the first thing he's heard is a big fucking bang in the back of his car. So there's like an air conditioning unit in, how sometimes in there they have that. So the whole back of his windshield is just shattered, like it's. And Toby Wall is known for a little bit of being a bit of a tight ass too, so this is going to be a bit of a hefty one. But under 25, because he's a young one, under 25, the excess is huge because they're more prone to accidents.
Correct.
So they stitch them up. So pretty much all that insurance is for is if you ride it off.
Correct.
Any little ding or anything like that, like it's out of your own pocket.
You've got the basic excess which you have to pay. Then if you're under 25, you're going to pay that. I think they have an under 21.
What are you,
21? No. I'm over 25, under 30. So
Okay.
I'm in a nice little bracket.
How old are you?
28.
Oh, jeez,
Yeah.
I'm old. I'm getting there. I'm not gonna lie. Makes me feel
No,
young
but
again.
I'm hoping to get it fixed up. So
You're right. You get
I
looked after.
I haven't had time, since we've been trying to build this and continue to grow.
Yeah.
I will get it fixed up. So hopefully by this time next week, I'll give you an update.
So we did have the community camp. That was the 2 days post our game.
So where did you guys go? Because I know we were speaking on
yeah.
the phone. So where did you guys head away in terms of your community camp?
Yeah, it's like everyone kind of goes rural. So obviously Queensland is a massive rugby and league state, union league. So our mission, our job is to go out to the communities where it's kind of heavily biased for league and union. So a lot of the boys went to Bundaberg, Harvey Bay, Toowoomba, which is League Central, and Springfield areas. So our new base is going to be in Springfield. So it's good. Like the boys that were local in Brisbane, the state around here, they went out that way. So it's all really good fun, and it's probably the better things we get to do because like sometimes clinics we go to and it's like 2 kids rock up and it's like, oh, this is awesome fun. It's like 8 blokes to 1 kid, and it's not really the best driving factor for us to put all that effort into it. So the community camps are good because we go to actual clubs, like footy clubs are out there, and we go to the schools and they're all energetic as all hell. So little young whippersnappers, and you play a couple of games with them like across the ocean or whatever it is. And if we got one kid that annoys you, just ping balls at him. So he loves the attention, and it's good to get that gridiron throws back in.
Oh yeah, remember Bull Rush? Remember back in the day?
That's pretty much what it is.
Oh,
so we used to call British Bulldogs back in the day. We used to run at each other and stuff. So that's before rugby was even a thing down there.
Are you still seeing? Are you seeing the shift between AFL and league?
Yeah, 100%. Like even just from my first year up here, the way that we run our clinics and everything's done with purpose now. Whereas in my first couple of years up here, it was just a rabble. Like that's what I mean. You go out to things and it'd be like 2 kids there, and all these blokes would all turn up, and no one's even there. Sometimes we went to schools I didn't even know were coming. I was like, what's going on?
Oh, that was good, wasn't
Bruh. So I guess we'll tick it off. It's an appearance done. You just sit in the car pretty much, but you get more out of it if you feel like you're doing something. So
I remember 2011. So Gary was at the height of his. Obviously Gold Coast Suns.
yeah.
Gary was at the height of his powers, if you want to call that. And I remember they went to a community appearance school, 400 kids, right? There would have been 100 people lined up for Gary's signature and 300 lined up for Carmichael Hunt's. It was just like from a rugby league perspective.
Yeah,
it's incredible how strong it is up here, and people just don't realise.
That's crazy.
That
is crazy because think about Gary Ablett, probably the GOAT. And
it was just.
But Carmichael Hunt's probably in his own right
at the time, still incredibly high. But it was really interesting to see. Even in an AFL appearance, the
amount of
support still for
him,
rugby league,
it's
crazy. Just incredible.
And that probably hasn't changed. If we did that, if that had happened all over again, it'd be the same outcome. I'm not going to say we've built a big brand and stuff up here, but we're making inroads, I guess.
Yeah.
But Gary Ablett, if that's happening with him, imagine the players that aren't even well known at the been
crazy. It was
intense.
intense.
Working for the club, just do you need to text the guys? Ablett, you're sweet. No worries, mate. But yeah, no, it was a good weekend. Obviously I want to show this.
Yeah, so please, because we were just talking about you only just showed me this before.
Yeah.
So we've actually got some exciting news here.
Yeah, so Emma's bat that she designed with Dan Christian. Is that going to focus in on there? I will get that anyway. Yeah. Emma's bat that she designed with Dan Christian was put into the MCG museum. So I think it's up there for a limited time. Let's get this focus in happening. Yeah, that's because that is dope. It's pretty good. That's pretty sharp. So yeah, she's done that, and Session 10 Duka used it in that charity match. The one when all the Hodgie and those guys all played in it. So Session 10 Duka used it because Dan Christian let him use it. So
stop it.
Session 10 Duka, man, that's pretty dope.
Talk about arriving. That's
here you are. You're getting noticed a couple of times. Emma's bat. She's actually pretty more famous than both of us put together.
Just Sachin Tendulkar. Yeah, just anyone.
Just probably the GOAT of all time, but whatever. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That's in the not the Hall of Fame, in the museum down there. I don't know how long we've been there for, but it's pretty cool.
That's amazing. That's awesome. I'll have to say good day when
she's not here, but she's doing radio now, so she's a big dog. I got to do drop offs after this, so let's wrap it up.
Weekend, talk us through the game.
Yeah, so the first game of the year, good to get the cobwebs out, man. God damn, as I said before, you can run as many laps as you want, but the first few minutes of the an actual game, you just blow up.
Yeah,
and I started on the bench as well, so it wasn't too bad. But when I came on, just run around like a headless chook, up and down the wings and all that kind of stuff. But no, it was a good game. Obviously we didn't get a win, but that's not what we focus on going into it. And a lot of teams are in a similar position to us. It's more so to try a few structural changes if you're going to implement those in your game or for the season ahead, so you can kind of go back and do it against real opposition and see how it works. So we did a few things like that, but it was really good for us, and we saw a couple of young players come. It was better for the Yeomans of the world and Archies and Birchall, who it was their first real hit out against opposition. We played Gold Coast the week before, but to go on with our strongest team that we had on the list, and it was good for them to see how we operate and stuff. So if everyone out there thinks it's doom and gloom, just take a chill pill. I've seen so much already.
No one wants to peak in February.
Why isn't Fakes doing all the coaching? Why are the boys on low? It's come on, man. I know we do want to build a winning culture and all that stuff, but it's
no one peaks in February.
Come on, bro. Pre-season heroes. I don't go too far. Where's our cup? We don't get a cup anymore. So.
Did you play 22?
And you can play as many as you want, players-wise. You can play 40, if you really want to. But interchange cap, there's none of those. So, we played 22. I think Port probably played 26 or so. And we had a couple injuries, like Marcus Adams got his face smashed in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's all right, though. And a couple of other boys put up sore, a little bit tight in areas. I think Zorko put up a little bit tight from the game, and he's missing out on the State of Origin. We'll talk on that later. But we played 20. We thought it was best prep for us going to round one to have the actual number that we're probably going to be playing with. So no, it was good. It was the first game out of the way. We got a week off this week because of State of Origin, and then we got the Blues the week after. So
sweet.
Hopefully Eddie pulls up right from Friday night because he's a new inclusion. But might as well jump on the State of Origin.
Yeah. So tomorrow night, so we're obviously recording this on a Thursday morning. Tomorrow night, what are you looking forward to most? Because obviously so much talk's gone into this game, and to be honest, I'm starting to now really switch my focus towards it and really looking forward to it. But what are you looking forward to most about the game?
Well, I was talking to Big Steph Martin and Lockie Newell last night, so I was kind of picking their brain because I thought I might talk about it today. But I was like, is there group chats? They said yes already. So can you imagine their WhatsApp group would be pretty stacked, and obviously Steph's a Victorian, so he's got a all-inclusive star-stardom lineup and stuff. So his chat, he reckons. I said, have you posted anything in there? He goes, nah, he's just kind of sitting on the fence and stuff. But I was just kind of interested if there's been talking to the midfielders already, and if they've been kind of getting game plans, anything down yet, which he said no. So didn't give me much. But Lockie was there as well, so probably trying to keep it close to him. But I just kind of said to him, look, can you guys make sure you just have a crack? Like I said, have they talked to you about this? Like, do they want you to go out and play hard? Do they want you to just kind of just take your foot off the pedal for the first 3 quarters and have a crack in the last quarter type thing? Yeah, because that's what we've really seen in previous games, and especially the like NBA All Stars. It's usually been pretty boring until the last quarter, and then they start having a semi crack. So I just want to see them all have a crack, because then you actually get to see a glimpse of what it's like for the future if we can do this. But I'm just excited, man. Eddie Betts is back in. Like obviously it sucks that Zorko's out with a bit of tightness in his hammy, but he's actually fine. He trained mostly last night and been running away from the group, but I'm actually so excited to watch tomorrow night. I'll be watching it. I wanted to live stream it, but the AFL and all that shit, they're pretty tight. So.
It said no.
Well, they haven't said anything.
Oh, okay.
I got 1,000 likes on that. It's like if you wanted me to see a stream, and they didn't even.
Oh damn! We'll have to campaign that for the next 24 hours.
But it's a stacked team, man. Like 7 AFL brought out they showed the comparison in the forward line groups, and I was like, I can't choose which one's better.
I saw that. Yeah, I couldn't pick either. I mean, it's literally like either side is so strong in comparison to the other.
The only thing I saw was the All Stars had like 3 tall forwards, like off the bat. I think they had Taylor Walker, they had Hawkins and Jack Rewald, and the other team had Lynch and someone else. I can't remember if you got it there. I don't know. Step AFL Instagram. I'll bring it up right here.
Yeah, we'll chuck it up.
I thought they had a better small forward line. Even though they got Charlie Cameron, they got Sonny Walters, they got Eddie Betts now. It's pretty dynamic forward line. So I don't know. It's going to be pretty exciting to watch. I just want to see these midfielders go at it. Yeah, Grundy versus Steph Martin, and Steph's got a little bit of a. I feel like he's got a bit of chip on his shoulder. Like he wants to prove to the world that he's number one. Because for me, coming to this game, like it's going to be all fun. Like, let's have fun, play the games. But once that ball's bounced, it's going to be have a crack, I reckon. I hope so anyway.
Yeah, I think as fans and as punters and as supporters, you just want to see him have a crack. Yeah. You just want to really be able to see, okay, can this concept live on beyond 2020? Because if both sides go out there and compete hard and really put on a spectacle,
the standard will just
the standard will lift, right? Yeah. And then other players that missed out this year will really be driven to want to feature in that game in the years to come. So you just want to see him have a crack.
Brodie Grundy was asked a fair bit about the State of Origin, and he was passionate about making it a state v state. He said, like, it's cool to be allies all-star, but like, he goes, when he was growing up, he used to have hatred for Victoria, which we all did. If you're not Victorian, especially being a Tassie boy, like we used to have a bit of angst towards the mainlanders, as we used to call it. So I would love to see this go into, depending on how it goes tomorrow night, I'd love to see it go into an actual State of Origin. Because as I said, like as kids, like we have all our under 18 jumpers framed and stuff. Like it means a lot to us. Yeah. So it rests on you boys. You better not fuck around tomorrow night. You better play well, otherwise I'll be flat with you and I'll probably put a mean tweet out. So
you're right. I mean, no one's talking about the pride of being an all-star.
Nobody is. But it's cool though. It's cool. Like it's cool to have, like, once they get their things signed and they'll frame it, it'll be pretty dope because it's for a good charity and the cause behind it's more meaning than anything. But
correct.
Having like a state v state would be dope. And like literally yesterday I put out a tweet, or late last night I was like, what can we talk about? Because there wasn't much news happening. And then someone's like, what about State of Origin? How about having it the week leading into the grand final, like the week off? I thought that's like it's Super Bowl. That's what they do in Super Bowl. Like they have it during the week because the teams that aren't playing, the Pro Bowl, they have it the week that aren't playing. Like all the teams that aren't playing, they can choose from those. Yeah. So I reckon that's pretty cool. It gives the players something to do in that time off. Yeah. They're doing all the appearances in Melbourne anyway. They're all trying to get cash money. So if they did that like the week leading to the grand final, I reckon it'd be cool. Like, because the players aren't doing anything anyway. Like, you don't travel overseas because you probably got your best and fairest and all that kind of stuff, and you probably like getting your end of season surgeries. So it kind of makes it all level playing field. That if you can play during that week, I reckon it'd be cool.
Yep, I'm still not against my club. Queensland
you know
versus
what?
New South Wales.
I actually had a look at like the old videos last night. I was just checking some analytics, and it came up, and I saw that one we were talking about that early last year about State of Origin, and it's not far off.
I'm so big on it, man. I know it's.
So if anyone didn't know, this bloke had a idea that he could do New South Wales versus Queensland team. So Sydney and GWS versus Brisbane and Gold Coast.
Correct. So it would be an AFL club State of Origin match between the best players from the Lions and the Suns versus
the AFL
the
don't get
players.
back to me, bro. I don't think they're gonna.
Oh man, I'm not holding out getting a call from Gil. I'll tell you what.
If they do, we would copyright the shit out of it. So it's trademark this. You can't go doing it without our permission.
Correct.
And we've got to be involved or something.
Absolutely. And we know AFL House, they don't miss an episode, so we know that we know that they're watching, we know what they're listening. But we want this out there. We want this out there. You'll be in that too. You'll be a captain. I'll make sure.
I don't know. I'll probably still get squeezed out somehow.
somehow.
Goodness gracious. Going to touch on it. I probably can release this by now, but AFL Fantasy, I will be doing that this year. Telstra AFL, our dope sponsor, and the Fantasy League. I'll be doing that this year for sure. I've got some. If you did notice, I put out a few tweets and a couple Instagram stories requesting some AFL players if they do play fantasy.
Yep.
Let me know, because I'm doing a league for the fans. So I do a draft league with other players. So Josh Kelly says yes. Brad Hill said yes. Just got a message before from Adam Hartlett. Got a few Brizzy boys in there. So that'd be pretty cool to watch us and how we choose our team and stuff. So
sick.
It's going to be fun. And then I'm going to do a big open league. So prizes galore for everyone. I'm going to do, so anyone can play in this open league, and at the end of the year I'm going to give away a big prize. So I'm going to do, obviously the weekly winners and the higher scores and stuff are going to get some prizes. But AFL Fantasy, you're going to get some information soon. Look out for it. I'm excited for it because then I start to understand players more. Because like last year I did it for the first time. I bailed like halfway through the year because I kind of got over it because Harris Andrews is a cheat. He's the worst commissioner I've ever seen.
Is that right?
Rules are broken. Nothing happened. He's a bit of a soft cock.
Tampering
so
around
I didn't like it. So and I got fined because I chose myself for my own team. So you're not allowed to do that apparently. So no one told me this.
Mate,
and I got fined for no reason. And I'm already struggling with money as it is. And they're kind of taking $50 off me.
Kidding.
That's the kids.
That's not.
Sorry, Chance, I can't have breakfast this morning because Harris is double G.
Harris, do you want to tell the kids?
Harris, you want to look at my children's eyes? I just cut your hair last night for the State of Origin and you do this to me and my family.
You're kidding.
Off you, mate.
No good. There are a couple of things that super keen to chat about because we actually were sort of discussing this a couple of weeks ago. The new concussion rule.
Yes.
The new concussion rule. So Tim English is the first to I don't want to say fall victim, it's not the right word, but to go through this process.
Yeah, the new rules that we have.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be very difficult for players to be able to pass it, given the fact that the way that the system's set up, like to be able to do it in enough time. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, so I'm not going to say they're set up to fail because they're set up not to fail, if you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's so they've brought in the new rule how you have to pass a scat test 5 days prior to the game. So say if you had a concussion on Sunday night, you're not going to be able to pass it on the Monday if you play the Friday night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be able to do it because, for one, if you had an actual concussion, the next day you're not going to feel great as it is. Yeah. And they don't do that straight after. It has to be like, I think, post 24 hours. So you can't do it the next day. So you just immediately in the game, if you get a concussion and the doc says, nah, you're not good. I don't like the way that the footage shows you that your arm went limp or you stiff armed a little bit on the ground or you lost control. So the docs, that's what they look for. They look for, from my understanding, and don't quote me because I'm not a doctor, but I've had a few concussions, but they look for lack of consciousness. Obviously, they ask you, did you black out? How do you feel? You go downstairs, you do a test. If you pass it or don't pass it, that's their decision. But the footage can sometimes be damning, and you might say, "No, I'm all good, doc. I'm all good. Put me back out there." But then you see the footage, you're like, "Doc, I'm not all good. That didn't look great." So the way the SCAT test works. So SCAT, I actually found out today, is a sports concussion assessment tool. So if you had concussion during the weekend, you have to do this SCAT test, which you do one in the preseason to see comparisons, I guess, and that's the way that they see if you pass or don't pass. The test can vary from memory games to have you seen this card before, like keep doing the same suit. So it's the ones that we do is the card ones. And I'm not the brightest, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed regardless. So I struggle with it even if I'm fine, but they understand that. But it's a pretty tough test, and if you're not switched on at all, you do realise when you're doing it, it's like, oh, maybe I don't feel that great, because it's actually a lot of memory games and stuff like that. So you do that usually, on the, say if I played Saturday, you usually do that on the Monday, Tuesday.
Yep.
But you have to pass that to be able to train. And then the docs go over your symptoms and stuff. So Tim English, I think he got concussed in probably one of his intra-clubs, and he couldn't play the following week. So he was the first one. But obviously this is a big chat because of Polly Farmer, who recently had he donated his brain to science. I think he passed away last year at 84. And they've come back with some damning results that, he had CTE, which is like after a lot of trauma to your head, a lot of head knocks and concussions. And his family's come out and said, we've witnessed him spewing up after games, just like on the couch. And it's pretty scary stuff to think of it, because, I've had a few concussions in my time. And I just kind of shrug it off now, but thinking about it, post-footy and stuff, that thankfully from what I've seen for Polly Farmer, he didn't have any of those traumatic experiences post-footy, and he wasn't lashing out or having those split personalities. And, obviously, I don't know if you've seen a documentary about Aaron Hernandez.
I have, yeah.
He ended up murdering 2 people, and there's been about 3 or 4 blokes who have, taken their own lives and stuff with this stuff. So it's not something to dance around and think that it's, oh, no, don't worry about it. It's just concussions in football. Like the AFL and the clubs are taking some serious steps to make sure that they're looking after the players, and that's always welfare and health at stake here. So as long as, you're probably going to see some players put arms in the air, it's like, I didn't even get a knock and I'm not playing next week. So, but you just got to think about longevity and this thing post-footy, because, I got 2 children. I don't want to be struggling with that kind of stuff post-footy. It's pretty scary stuff, but I think this is great. Like, I obviously want to play as many games as you can, but when it comes to concussions, you don't muck around with that stuff. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So do players think about that in terms of the long term? And I don't say think about it. I just mean, do you worry about those long term effects every single time you read articles about Polly Farmer and other players that have had issues post footy? Because as you touched on, you've got 2 children. You want to be able to create many memories with them together. Beyond your football days, and you've got plans after footy. I mean, do you worry about that in the back of your mind?
It doesn't worry me as such, but when I see it, I have sympathy and empathy for the blokes who have been through it, because I've had no long-term effects, or when I have been concussed, I've felt fine the next day. Hasn't lingered for me, but we've had 2 teammates who it's hard to watch, like Justin Clark, who is probably the smartest bloke that I've personally met in AFL world. His concussion was pretty bad, hit the knee of a teammate in a practice match at our club, and he just could not return to football. Like, he struggled a lot, and obviously he's got things post-footy going for him. So the call would have been very tough, but an easy one for him and towards the end of his career. So he was at the peak. He was like turning literally one of our best backmen that we had at the time. And he was young, and I think he's doing some astronomical studies, and like he's pretty switched on. So that was a bit scary for me to see him go through that. And then obviously Frosty, who retired, probably the most recent one from our club a couple of years ago. He got a concussion, and it was pretty innocuous. It wasn't a big one. It was just got a head knock, and then he tried to come back from that, and it was just pretty hard for him, and he really struggled with day-to-day things. And actually, if you go to his Instagram, I'm not sure if he's doing it anymore, but on his Instagram, he was taking you through steps of what he does. He does a lot of dry needling in his skull and his face to try and get the headaches going away. And if he did anything, he just felt fatigued and didn't have much energy for the day-to-day things. So for that sense, that's pretty scary and obviously a bit worrying, but it feels like we're putting a lot of things in place now that can kind of help us through that. And we didn't try to rush any of those blokes back, and it's all up to how they feel, and they go through specialist galore to make sure they're on the come up. But even like seeing like Liam Picken and Boyd and a lot of these other cases with depression and stuff, you've got to think like, is it from head knocks and concussions? So that kind of thing, like even like don't want to touch on Dane Beams, but we don't know much about depression really. It's just like it happens to a lot of people, and that doesn't really choose who it happens to. So it could be head knocks, it could be that kind of stuff. So we don't really know until you know. So it's scary and worrying, but like you kind of can't think about it going into games, and to be honest, doesn't go through my head at all.
Yeah, so I think it's well done to the AFL for bringing in this new policy, and again always having the welfare of the players at the front of mind, which is really important. We're going to change pace here. We've got a couple of quick talks that we'll be jumping into thanks to Telstra and Channel 7.
Oh, yeah.
Christian Petrarca, good on him, big ups.
Just signed a monster, I reckon.
Good on him.
Everyone's asking me, did he get a contract off the back of his form in the preseason game? I'm going to say no. But he did have a baller game. What did he have, like 38, 3 goals, 9 tackles, something like that. It's a pretty good game.
Yeah, it might not have been done in 24 hours, but geez, he timed it well.
He did, didn't he?
If you're ever going to have a game like that...
the icing on the cake, wasn't it? They were like, maybe we sign this bloke. It would have been...
We dropped the news now. They probably had plans that weren't going to be executed close to round one, and after a game like that, you just drop it.
We're probably going to see an episode from them on their new doco series that there's been talks for about a couple months now, and it's just funny how he played a beast of a game and got a new contract. But no, I'm going to say... No, they do not do contracts off the back of preseason games. As I said before, that's not taken all that serious, but it is a good sign for things to come. That's for sure. Like even looking at Gold Coast, who thumped Geelong, it's good for their supporters and stuff to see that, and it's good for their psyche and their confidence going forward. They can play against the best and play well, but no, it's not done on the back of preseason games.
Yeah, no, I figured so. Big
if
ups.
It was, give me to Melbourne.
Yeah. Watch out this weekend. You're coming.
Exactly.
Next weekend, sorry. No, big up. Same club. Max Gawn, new captain.
Yes, I will give a round of applause to Gordy.
Yeah,
that's a story.
Yeah, good effort.
And I've seen some articles about this bloke, and I've actually texted him and said congratulations. And I was like, mate, I know you're pretty busy this week. Did you want to come on? He's like, look, I'm under the pump. Let's do next week. So Gordy's coming on before round one, which is really cool. But congrats. Like I've seen articles that he used to smoke ciggies before going to training. He's told the media that himself that he was only on the list because he's 208 centimeters tall early days. But no, he's come a long way. Like he's a captain of Melbourne Footy Club. It's pretty cool. It's pretty good.
And for a club that has so much history with what he's been able to do for them in recent years, there's times where people considered him one of the best players in the game, like as in the very top. I mean, just given the role that he plays and how he moves around the ground. Good on him. I mean, he's been fantastic.
I think he's got a couple of Australians in the bag as well. So he's earned it. I dare say he won't change the way he goes about his lifestyle and the way he talks to the media, and he portrays himself like he seems like a lovable character, and can't wait to talk to him.
We talk about personalities all the time.
Yeah, he's right up there.
The game lacks personalities, and he's one who's not afraid to.
He makes coffees at the back of his house. Like
not bad.
Come through.
Yeah,
come through, grab a coffee on the way through. Oh, hey, Max, go on.
Not bad. We'll do the podcast down there.
Yeah, imagine the characters that come through there.
Oh, absolutely. We've got a couple more here too. Would you be playing? Sorry, no. Actually, before we jump into that. Ben Brown as well is another one too, which is in recent years. I mean, he's missed out on the column.
Have you seen the last 3 years his stats? So he's kicked 60 plus goals last 3 years in a row. He missed out to Jeremy Cameron Jeremy Cameron kicked like 9 goals in the last game against the Suns.
He needed 8 goals to win the
stiff man. Like there goes a couple $1,000
he should
on
be
your
a 2-time
contract.
Coleman medalist.
He should really be 3. Like honestly, so he missed Franklin balled out in the last few games, and he kicked I think he just lost by 6 to him. Jeremy Cameron lost to him by a few, and then Jack Rewell beat him by 4 goals. Yeah. So he's a Tassie boy. Absolutely love him. He looks like Sideshow Bob, and he's got the longest run up in history. Don't know how he does that in how quick have you kick it? 30 seconds. Yeah. Don't know how he does that. And he honestly runs the most I've ever seen out of any player in the league. Underrated. Yeah. I don't know how many touches he gets a game, but he runs at least 16, 17K a game, which is dumb. Not dumb. I take that back.
His development's been huge.
Which seems dumb to me because I can't do that. But that's a lot of Ks covered from a key forward, and Harris has to play him all the time. So
mate,
Harris.
He's been a great get for them.
I don't know. He should be talked about in the State of Origin. I don't know how he missed out.
He snuck under the radar too. Actually,
he must be injured because Tex Walker got in front of him.
Yeah, well, he may be. I know there's a few players that obviously can't play due to injury.
If Brent Brown's not injured, then that's just shit.
It's the story of his life at the moment.
He'd be like, I'm the second fiddle for everything.
Yeah.
I am thinking I'm stiff, and he's kicking 60 plus goals. I'm not getting a sniff.
No, he's doing well. We don't want to talk too much about this because this is a topic way above our non-existent pay grades. But would you be playing in China if with the I mean, there's obviously talk about the coronavirus and how the game at this stage is. There's talk and debate about the game potentially being rescheduled or cancelled or taken to a different venue. I want to preface this by saying that this is absolutely above our non-existent pay grade. So we're not trying to
I do not have a PhD in viruses.
We're not trying to jump into a debate that doesn't.
Look, I don't know how real this thing is. Look, I have my conspiracy theories. I don't know what's going on. I've heard like there's plenty of other viruses that people, like thousands and hundreds of thousands of people are dying of that we don't even hear about. For me, I'd say I do not want to play that game in China if I was saying it. Depends where it's at, because things can get quarantined pretty quick. But with all the hype and the blow up in the media and stuff about this virus that's going around, obviously we haven't seen it firsthand because it hasn't really been in Queensland or anything like that. But I'd say just can that for the bid, like let it sit. Obviously, I don't know when they play. I
thought it was May, but I'll have to double check.
But I'm not too sure. I'd say the game gets cancelled on the back of that. I think someone, the World Health Organization, whatever it is,
World Health Organization,
they come out in a couple of days because they could be cancelling Melbourne games.
I read
the Grand
that.
Prix and the Grand Prix. So if we play round 1 against Hawthorn, so you never know that they're looking at things which have an abundance of people at an event. So the Australian Open nearly got canned.
Well, they're talking about the Olympics.
The Olympics and stuff. Well, that makes sense. It's in Tokyo, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the way these things happen is because obviously the transit and the flights and all that kind of stuff. That's probably the best way to get it.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be looking heavily at that. I think in 2 days' time they're going to come out and say yes or no. So
yeah. Again, absolutely above the pay grade. We're not wanting to jump into this.
I'm just saying, as a player, I'd be a bit wiggy about going over for that.
We couldn't do a podcast with the most talked about topic in the game.
Well, this better trend because we just do hashtag coronavirus hits a player.
Yeah.
Just like clickbait the shit out of it.
Absolutely. Anything else before we wrap up?
I think that's about it, mate. I think
we're all ready to go.
I do have some news. I got a couple big phone calls today that I'm excited for. I can't really talk too much about it. But
Can you tease absolutely anything?
It's got to do with gaming, a bit of gaming stuff, and a little bit of energy.
Okay, all right. So watch this space. Hopefully, maybe next week we can.
Coffee sponsor could be something else.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll keep everyone updated. No, well, that's why I'm asking the question. I don't.
No, but no. Shout out to Bobby Mugar, I'm pretty sure it is. They sent me a pair of shorts. I know I'm going to get a pair for you actually.
Yeah,
they're comfy as all hell. Shout out to our sponsors. We've got M-Wave, who set up this beast of a computer over there. We got Puma, obviously. We got 7AFL, Telstra AFL. Who else we got?
Sure
microphones, audio. They're killing it every time they send us some new stuff. We still haven't used those lavalier mics, but it's bound to happen sooner or later. Anything else from you, mate?
No, man, that's it. That's it for me.
I just want to give a shout out to everyone that's been listening over the pre-season. I know there's not much to talk about really, but we make it fun and we do make our own topics, so we're not the same as everyone else. So if you are listening, make sure, or you watch, make sure you chuck a photo up on Instagram. We'll share the love on our stories, on our Twitter and stuff. And if you do have any Q&As, make sure you send your questions over. We do it every second week. So I actually forgot about it last week. My bad.
Oh, yeah.
I checked up late last night.
Yeah.
So,
that's all right. But make sure you subscribe via YouTube and subscribe via iTunes.
Yeah.
Best ways to make sure that you don't miss an episode.
Yeah. All right. That's episode 33. Rip Through It, coming through to you live. Not really live, but coming through to you. Pre-recorded screen of mine. But Sean Tobin, thanks for coming over, baby.
Always.
I'll see you next time.
Bye.